All right, you guys, we're going to do some practice today on points, lines, and planes. And I'm going to go kind of slow and break some of these vocabulary words down. So please feel free to pause, rewind the video, whatever you need. Now this practice is following the actual notes of my previous video where we wrote those notes down on points, line, and planes, those three undefined terms. So if you have not taken those notes yet, please go back and do that first, okay? So here we have this diagram. We have 1, 2, 3 lines, and remember lines have the arrows at the end showing that they go on in both directions forever and ever. So that's going to tell me by just looking at the diagram that these are lines. Also, I know they're lines because they have lowercase letters next to them. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points. Remember, points are labeled next to the point you'll actually see, and it's a capital letter. Okay, so this is what I always like to write to help me remember. A point gets one letter, capital letter. A line gets 2 capital letters or 1 lowercase, right? And a plane gets 3. Okay, so if you've taken the notes from before, this will be sounding familiar. You've heard me say it before. Okay, and here we go. I'm going to work out a few of these, just kind of give you an idea. All right, they want to know 4 collinear points. Okay, so let's break down what the word collinear means. Co meaning like if you coexist with somebody, you live together. Okay, so they're together. And see the word line in linear? They're together on the same line. Let's see if I can get that to focus right. Okay, so I'm going to say on same line. Okay, please write that down. I like to take care of vocabulary as we are practicing it and we're seeing it in action here instead of just always going and writing a bunch of vocabulary down. Okay, all right, so 4 collinear points. So you're going to come over here and you just find a line, and you're going to find the 4 points that share the same line. Okay, and when you write those down, so follow the same line, like this is line 1, or this is line P, Q, R. Okay, don't look at R and then look over at Q. Now they can be the same, like line this way, but you don't want to pick these and then pick another one that's not on the same line. Okay, collinear means they're on the same line, and we want 4. So you're going to use capital letters and write 4 capital letters, 4 points that are on the same line, collinear. Okay, a line that contains point M. So find point M. Let me get my highlighter here. So here's point M. This entire line from arrow to arrow, right? It really continues on and on forever and ever, but our paper just doesn't last that long, right? So the name of the line. Now you can just say line P, line lowercase p, or there's a lot of answers here that we could go with. This is why it takes me a little bit longer to grade geometry, because I have to make sure notations are right, and sometimes there's more than one name for the same line. So remember, pick 2 points for a line. So I can say MN, and if I pick the 2 points, MN, then the notation is I need to draw a line above the 2 points. Okay, so I can say line P or line MN, or I could say line NO, right? I could even go further and say line OM or line MO. As long as you have 2 points that are on that line and you draw the notation above it, you are correct. So there's 1 answer, possible answer, 2, 3 possible answers, and then of course I could start rearranging my letters, right? So just be mindful of that. when we are giving a line a name. So you can just say line P, or you can use the notation with the line drawn above it. Okay, intersecting lines. I'm going to scoot down here to E. Intersecting, just like an intersection of a highway, you know, where you might have stop signs. It's where they cross. That's what intersect means. It's where they cross. So if I look over here, the intersection of line P with line R. What's labeled right there where they intersect each other? It's a point, right? So line P and line R, the intersection of a line is always a point. And remember, points get one capital letter. Okay. I'll scooch down just a little bit here so you can see. All right, now we're looking at a plane. Remember, a plane is a flat surface. It goes on forever and ever. Just can't draw it on a two-dimensional paper like that. And it looks like I have one line and another line. So I have two lines and one plane. It says a line containing point F. A line containing point F. So remember, you can say line and give me the lowercase letter for the name of that line, or you can choose 2 points on that line with the arrow above. Okay, that's up to you. But look for the line that contains point F. Another name for line K. Well, since they're already using the line K option with the lowercase, then remember, points get 1 capital letter, lines get 2, and planes get 3. So if they're asking for a line, you need to give me 2 capital letters. Don't forget your line notation above it. So here we go. Where's line K? I'm a visual person. I like to have it highlighted, color-coded a little bit. Here's my line K. Okay. All right, on line K, I'm going to pick 2 letters. I'm going to say B-E. So line B-E. Now you can't use mine, okay? There are plenty of other options that you can use. Do not just use mine. Please add 1 or 2. Challenge yourself to see if you can find all of the options for its name. Okay, a plane containing point A. Planes are the flat surfaces, kind of like a sheet of paper. Okay, so a plane containing point A. For a plane, you can use a lowercase plane and then give me, say, plane, and then it's got a letter somewhere on there that's not a point, and that's the name. Or you can give me 3 points that are on that plane. I'm trying to think. I'm going to say it wrong. I think you're okay. Yes. So we'd say plane and then give me 3 points. So you can give me the 1 letter, or you can say plane and pick 3 points, but those 3 points have to be on the plane. And again, go back and reference your notes on using this. An example of 3 non-collinear. Well, if collinear means that they lie on the same line, now we're looking for examples of 3 points that are not on the same line. Not on the same line. And remember, points are capital letters, so 3 capital letters that go with the points. The intersection of plane M and line K. Okay, so plane M is this entire piece of paper we see here. Okay, well, if you envision, like, I'm going to stick my paper or my pen here through the paper, right? That's essentially what's happening right here, is that line's going through our paper, and so it's coming out the bottom. So where they intersect is a point. Okay, so remember, points are capital letters. If I see one capital letter in geometry, I know you're talking about a point. Okay. Right, use the diagram here. So 3 coplanar. My highlighter out. Coplanar. Like collinear are points that lie on the same line. Coplanar are points that lie on the same plane. So you're going to look over at this diagram, and I want you to give me 3 points that are on the same plane. Now, please do not stress if you look at your neighbor's paper and they have a different answer than you. I promise you there are more than one answer to these problems. And so just go with your answer, and we're going to go over it together in class and see how you did. So if you're looking at your paper and you're like, oh, I chose these 3, but my neighbor chose something else, go ahead and trust what you have, and let's just check it tomorrow in class, okay? So do not panic if you have different letters. Doesn't necessarily mean you're wrong, okay? That's what makes geometry a little bit crazier. All right, a plane containing point X. Now, remember, for a plane, you can say plane and give me the one letter that goes with it that's not a point, or you can say plane, and remember, point gets 1 letter, capital letter, line gets 2, plane gets 3. So then you could give me 3 points that are on that plane. Okay, I want you to try both. Try to give me the two different names, or at least 2 names for that plane, okay? The intersection of plane R and plane ZVY. See, there's an example. You could say plane ZVY, right? Or you could say plane and whatever its capital letter is that's not a point. Excuse me. Okay, so the intersection of plane R and plane ZVY. Okay, well, we know that the intersection with a line in a plane is a point, and a intersection of 2 lines is a point. So let's look here. What's formed? Plane R and plane ZVY. Okay, ZVY is this little triangle right here. Remember, a plane's a flat surface. Okay, and plane R, because it's not a point, is that flat like piece of paper that's sitting on. So look right here. What their intersection looks like is a segment, VY. Now, a line has arrows saying it goes on forever and ever, but a line segment is a piece of a line, so don't put your arrows. They kind of snuck that one in early on us. We have not talked about segments yet. Okay, how many planes appear in the figure? Count how many flat surfaces you need, or you see, and write it down. How many planes contain point W? Okay, so take your time. We will go over this in class, so give me your best answer. No saying I don't know or I don't get it and leaving it blank, okay? Don't cheat. Just really give it your best shot, and I promise we'll go over them and see how you did. Okay, here we go. Use the diagram to the right to name the following. The intersection of lines L and M. Intersection of lines L and M. So there's only one answer. Another name for plane Q. Okay, think about the different ways you can label a plane. Use your notes. Are points D and E collinear, meaning the same line, or coplanar, meaning on the same plane? So that's your option. Okay, you have a 50-50 chance of getting this one right. Try, make sense of it. How many times do planes P and Q intersect each other? Okay. So I want you to try your best. Continue work using your notes. Finish this up and work on the back. And we'll go over it when we're in class together again.